going to test some better video quality here today. See what happens so you can see my freckles a little bit better. You can see my face a little clearer. Will the world cry when you die? Sounds a little morbid, but it helps put things in perspective. You see, if you're wondering what you're doing with your life, wondering what kind of contribution you can make to the world, sometimes it's best to look at the things that would actually make the world miss you. Because if you can come up with ideas, solutions to problems, then people will start gravitating to you, flocking to you, and caring about what it is that you're doing. But if right now you seem non-existent, then what I could say is you're not doing enough meaningful things. You're not impacting the world. And you have an opportunity to do this. You have one life. And will anyone care about it? And we're not talking about friends, family, the people who already care about you. I think they are obligated to care about you, but to be honest, if you're not doing anything meaningful, I don't think they have a basic level of care to you, but they're not really the people that truly matter. People who truly matter are the ones that really actually care about you, even though they don't know you personally. Because those are the people you get to change. If you can come up with something so meaningful, so impactful, then the world will cry for you and they'll miss you. And that your funeral will actually be something where people care, beyond just friends and family. And if you look at life that way, you might start looking at ways to help others. See, if I look at it that way, I was always self-serving in the sense that I would create things for my own benefit. But then I realized, how are these things helping others? I start thinking and rotate the thought like a 180, because I'm curious to know what would actually help others. So by doing this, it makes me look at sort of a defined purpose, how I should conduct material or how I should create things. Now it's not just for myself, where I have a desire to create and share stories with the world. It's now more, okay, I'm creating and sharing, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. What kind of outcome does it result for someone else? Well, it could help them. It could solve a problem for them. And if you look at problems that people are having, well, a lot of people are having issues with self-confidence, with trying things, trust in themselves. A lot of people don't trust what they can do and what they can put out into the world. So as a result, they live life not doing what they could have, because they weren't confident in that. So then I start thinking like, oh, okay, so if I put out these quirky things that I'm creating, books, videos, what have you, I don't know, things that make me seem a little odd or whatnot, maybe to me, or weird and maybe a little bit uncomfortable, maybe that makes people feel reassured knowing, hey, wait, if that guy can do it, because he's kind of awkward, he's kind of nerdy, and he's actually getting out in front of the camera. If he can do it, if he has enough self-confidence to get in front of the camera, I wonder what I could do. Yeah, see, if I look at it that way, even with my books. Oh, okay, those are really bizarre books, but they're so bizarre, and it's so crazy that he's willing to put all that out there to the world. That's real self-confidence in his products and what he's offering. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a kind of dialogue that intrigues. And that's where you're going to get some sort of meaning in what you're doing. Not just doing, but when you do things, what kind of outcome, what kind of emotional impact. Once you get down to that, then it's really powerful. You see, by doing these things, for me, I look at it, well, if I do these little things piece by piece, it becomes a mission to help people feel more self-confident. And then that'll maybe encourage them to change the world piece by piece. And if I can look at it that way, well, then everything has meaning. Look, I have a bunch of children's books, and if there's a child out there who's maybe lonely or shy and maybe doesn't feel comfortable about saying what they truly want to do, they might not have the connections or friends that they could have had if they believed in themselves. And they could be a little bit better, a little bit more self-confident tomorrow or the next day. Because they can look at maybe some of the brave characters in my books and say, hey, if that character did it, stood up to fears and went for it, well, then maybe that counts for something. And maybe that could be me too. Maybe if I put on my superhero cape, and then I can go and be that person. You see, we are all sort of like superheroes in the sense that if we believed in ourselves, we could make a tremendous impact in our communities and in the world around us. You see, it doesn't have to be the entire world crying, but even just a community of people is a good start. And that could be the world that you live in. Will that world cry when you die? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Because if I look at examples, Steve Jobs, say what you will about him, when he passed away, the world mourned. The world mourned because of his brilliance. And I look at other examples of geniuses that are out there. Well, you've got Elon Musk. Say what you will about him, but people will cry when he dies. He's already established that. He could do nothing for the rest of his life. He is established as someone people would care about. And then you have Tiger Woods with his recent comeback. You have somebody that's fallen into the depths of despair and he has risen. There is a lot to that kind of story, and people will gravitate to that. So when he passes away, the world will cry. Same for the hockey player with all the records, Wayne Gretzky. Everyone knows him. You look at those records and what he did in terms of the game of hockey, people will care about that. People will cry. So when you sort of look at all those different things, it could be maybe something to inspire. You achieve something incredible just by doing, and that, as a result, inspired. There are plenty of people out there who are disabled and they're doing long distance runs or Ironmans, and that's inspiring. And then if they share that story with the world will latch on to that story because there are people that maybe are in the same situation and they don't know how to get out of it. And It's powerful. It's powerful stuff. You see, you can inspire, or you can create some sort of meaning, or inspire self-confidence. If you think about what it is that you do and how it helps others, and you answer that question, you might define your purpose, your mission, your values. You might sort of get that formulated. It won't be 100%, but it'll be close. And you can work with that. You can start fixing the world, because the world needs fixing. And it's your responsibility, my responsibility, to fix it. And then if you do solve these problems for people genuinely, authentically, you've created a community that really actually cares about what you're doing. And that means something. Think about that. So if you can walk away with one thing, it's this question that you can maybe try to answer. What will make the world cry when you die? You can figure that out. Then you're on to something. Okay, until next time, toodles.